Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the ENS Morning Show. We do the show every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This has become routine for a lot of the speakers here and for a lot of the listeners here, right? This is routine for us. This is almost like, times change. But back in the day, you'll probably be on your way to work and you're listening to your favorite radio station, 90, whether that's 96.5, 103.5, whatever it is. People used to listen to radio stations every day on their way to work and to and from work, different times of the day. And that's basically what Twitter Spaces is today. Podcasts, people listen to their favorite podcasters on a daily basis. So we're just doing the modern version of that, but we're focused on the ENS community. We're focused on Web3. We talk a lot about different NFT things, but we always technically bring it back into ENS. And the reason for that is a lot of us here believe that it is the most sustainable, right? We believe that it is the true future of what the blockchain is the true future, a part of what the blockchain will become. So I'm a big believer in the blockchain myself, because one thing about it is you can't fade technology. Technology waits on no man, right? Whether we agree with it or we don't agree with it, it doesn't matter. Life was completely different 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago. And it will be a lot different in the opposite direction. So we can either be on the right side or the wrong side. Me personally, I'm choosing not to fade this tech, and I'm going to be on the right side of it, and I'm going to make a lot of ETH in the process. At least that's what the goal is. Two main things I want to bring up today, and I'll pass it on to some of the speakers on stage, and I want to get their opinions on this as well. Number one, let me pin this to the top. Minecraft has decided to, ban virtual worlds and these NFT worlds that people were creating within their platform, or however they was doing it. I'm not even sure. And they banned it, and for me it's not a surprise, because it's almost like when you sit and think about what is true digital real estate, what is true digital scarcity, the first thing that comes to my mind is .eth, ENS, because only one person can own 5159, only one person, and there can't be another one, right? Only one person can own Ape, whatever there is, Tokyo, whatever name out there. I think of ENS as the only true digital scarcity in digital real estate. The creators of those NFT worlds and virtual worlds could always expand, make those buildings taller, add extensions to that game, and they're wrapping it up and telling, hey, this is what a virtual world is. This is what virtual real estate is. And when we take a step back, true real estate is these ENS assets that we all own, in my opinion. So with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna pass the stage over to Ron. RN1, the stage is yours, brother.
Thank you, Kev, GM, everybody. Yeah, most people here are too young to remember back in the early days of the internet. All these big companies thought they would just control it, and they all created their own intranets. Of course, they didn't last, but it was the same type of a thing, right? You want to fight the trend, and you get left behind. And these companies think they're so important that they, they sometimes mistake their business. I once heard a guy say, hey, there's no railroads in the airline business, because they mistook that they wanted to hold on to being railroads. They didn't realize they were in the transportation business, and those airlines should have those trains, should have morphed into airlines, but none of them did, because they all held on. And I think we'll see the same thing, if this, but it was, there was a lot of the same controversy in the, like, I would say early to mid 90s. So I think that the same thing is going to happen. If this, there's so much more power in the decentralization, and it's so much more appealing to everybody. It's worldwide. It's a worldwide opportunity. And Kevin, as you were talking about it, I was thinking, Elon Musk sold, announced yesterday he sold his Bitcoin. Within 2.5 minutes, people were tweeting about it. Okay. So he announces it on his earnings call or whatever. Within 2.5 minutes, people were tweeting. This morning, an hour ago, I saw Joe Biden tested positive for COVID. And now, just now I checked, and finally there's news about it on Yahoo. And I remember, back when I was kids, you got the weekly newspaper or whatever, magazines and stuff. Now that's old because, people are putting it on YouTube, which is old news and compared to what we're doing here on Twitter. And you're right, Kev. I used to listen to all kinds, and I still do listen to a lot of YouTube channels and stuff. But a lot of that stuff's old. Whereas we get on these chats, we have hundreds of people. Even on this chat, it's 300 to 400 different people a day weigh in, and we get down to the minute. We're I'm sure a lot of people are working out, people are driving. We're actually able to have some real focused, down to the minute, cutting edge discussions that we couldn't even do really 6 months, a year ago, not even, right? So this is some powerful stuff, and I'm moving time zones for the next 3 weeks, and I'm gonna have limited internet access, so I'll still probably be online 8-10 hours a day. Unfortunately, not a lot of it will be on this starting tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to be on a plane, so hopefully I'll be weighing in, but won't be talking. But I'll jump in as much as I can over the next 3 weeks. But like I said, I don't know. I think I'm going to have very limited access, only at night. So I'll jump in as much as I can. I'm going to miss my first ENF happy hour. I know I'm going to be over the Atlantic. Hopefully I can be weighing in and throwing up some hearts or some peace signs or something tomorrow night. But yeah, this is a unique thing. And the other thought I had over the last 24 hours is, damn, we're early to this ENS thing. Doesn't feel like it to us because we're watching every little heartbeat on the monitor, right? We're talking about it, but man, we are early. Got to lock in for the long term, and it's gonna be fun when this thing really starts popping off, and there's gonna be a time when 100 ETH bids are every minute. I mean, we'll see those days, and they're not too far off. So anyway, looking forward to the discussion today, and yeah, wanting to see what people think about the Minecraft. I think it's a intranet versus internet. Most of you here probably never heard of an intranet because they didn't last very long. So looking forward to today's discussion.
Thank you, Ron, and man, hope you enjoy your time. And if you can't make it to the show, no worries, brother. You are going to be doing what most of us wish we would, traveling the world, exploring different countries and things of that nature. So Ron might be in and out for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you said, right?
Yeah, I think I'll be back. I think I'll be back full bore on the 9th of August is when I'm back in my house.
Okay. By the way, August 10th through the 12th, I'll be in Chicago. So if anybody here is from Chicago, I'm going to be Chicago for work, but I might have some free time to grab a drink or something if anybody here is from Chicago. But yeah, Ron, you will be missed if you can't make it. You're one of the favorites on this show, man. So you keep our ratings up. So we need you back whenever you
I'll
can.
jump on as much as I can. I think it'll be hit and miss depending on, like I said, I think we're +8. So I think about 5 p.m. their time. I'm just afraid I'm going to be out, feeding rhinos or something instead of being back at the camps and hotels. But we'll see. I'll definitely jump on all I can. And it's actually disturbing to me, believe it or not. I'm kind of a little freaked out by, because this is I plan everything around the morning show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll figure it out. You're good, bro. Definitely enjoy yourself. Feeding rhinos sounds a little dangerous and fun. So that should be a great experience. But with that being said, we have our co-host Master, another favorite on the show. Master, the stage is yours, brother.
Hey, good morning, guys. Actually, I just saw the Minecraft, the news, and actually that didn't surprise me at all. I always say Web 2 game is the most of is with most of fun. We will pay for those games, and we will pay for PlayStation, Nintendo, those because Web 2 game is fun. Traditional game is interesting, but they don't like Web 3 yet, because in Web 3, there is just 100% of transparency, as they don't like it, right? They need the servers to be in and collecting something, and I don't think they are there yet. But Web 3 games, right now we have a couple games, but Web 3 games, unfortunately, they are not fun at all. We don't play to have fun, and we only play to earn or doing something else with it, right? So there is still a gap between Webs 2 and 3, and don't expect those gaps, that kind of gap is going to get fixed or killed shortly. We still get a mountain to climb. That's why, I mean, right now Minecraft, yeah, I totally understand why they mentioned that, because blockchain, they're not just ready, to put themselves on chain or having some trial on the NFT. Maybe that doesn't make sense for them as of now, but who knows? Sooner or later, we will change that, given there will be more interesting apps on the SocialFi and the GameFi for the Web3, that instead of play to earn, maybe sometime of the real Web3 game can be played for fun. We hope that day will come sooner. And another great deal happened today is I believe we have a very unfortunate, not lucky guy named Franklin, right? The guy from I think he is from the apes community, and he lost 100 ETH. And yeah, I didn't know what happened, originally. And I think after I heard he mentioning something, I think he was trying to make a fun, and I don't think he believed the recent kind of hundreds of or millions of uh, offers for ENS is true offers. He thinks that is fake offer, so he kind of keep bidding on his own shit names, try to make sarcasm on ENS. I think maybe that's the case. But after he making that bid, and someone very funny put a 1.9 ETH on X2Y2 on that item, and he said, "Wow, that shit name can sell for 1.9." Okay, he clicked the yes, and that guy who bought the name and immediately used his 100 ETH offer, and that sarcasm has been 100% or 10,000%, given back to his face, which was I can't believe it's true, but it's just happening. So I will always say, rule number one: never overbid on shit names, even if it's your name, because people will forget. We might don't know a lot of things, especially when we are so confident, when we are so rich, when we are so believe we are the only ones that is correct. Something might be wrong. So yeah, just to keep your behavior locked in some zone, and so only see if you like the name or not before you bid on it. Don't bid it for some other reason. Sarcasm on ENS, I don't think it's a cool thing to do, given the community is stronger and names are really getting value. I doubt, maybe some of the names is fake bidding, but definitely there will be hundreds of Ethereum of the true biddings as well. There's no need, right? That doesn't make any sense at all to put that 100 ETH bid on a shit name of yourself. That doesn't work. That won't make us feel we are very scared or what. That will never happen. That will only make everyone laugh, and right now he is the only one being laughed at. And yes, just remember this story, learn from others lesson, and stop beating the shit names even if it's yourselves. And another Twitter I just pinned on the top is a very interesting thing that UD Unstoppable Domain seems they want to apply for the trademark of dot wallet, something like that. I really don't understand what's their strategy after especially after they have applied for like 8+ suffixes of their own. It doesn't make sense at all. Even strong as ENS, it only has one suffix as of now, and it is doing the good faith to even allow the traditional .com, .org, traditional TLDs to integrate inside. And although we see it's been a long while, here they mentioned it for the first time 2-3 years ago, but very few of the traditional TLDs have done so. Despite to that, I mean, duty, I don't see any reasons that they are going to make it, because they did everything wrong, and they are not King's brother. They don't have anything on that, unfortunately, at this stage. So yeah, I mean, today I'm glad we are on the right lane, I'm glad we are on the winning team. So just to give it a bit more on the time, digits is the hint, but premium words will be the answer, and time will prove that. You will see 99 club sales very good, but maybe not. Maybe some of the top 99 is going to sell for millions or tens of millions of US dollar. Only those true gems and grails and the top names with a great imagination of subdomains and all the utilities will make that. Maybe I'm wrong. Everything is possible as long as you don't overbid on names. I think we are good. And don't sell names to the floor. Only sell to the true lover. And make sure you will go to the ENS app and do all your associations. Make sure you have all your BTC, ETH, all the chains in your wallet associated. Just who knows? Maybe someday you will receive a fortune from no one, or from someone he forgot, or he has a typo or something. And also check your expiration date, and sort, by the which is the reason to expire, which is very important. Do those works because lots of people in web2world.com, trade.com got expired and released by 1999. Can you guys imagine that? That is millions of dollars of value of names that can even get dropped. And a lot of great names of ENS got dropped. I got job cached a lot of like phone.eth, like Cisco.eth, like Richard.eth in the past, which means someone lost it, someone forgot to renew it. So I just hope you guys won't be that someone, and check your expiration date from time to time. Make sure you keep your treasure pretty good. So yeah, that's all I'm going to share with you guys. Have a good day.
That's a month's worth of alpha in 5 minutes. Thank you, Master. I don't feel so bad. I feel like I got the next 3 weeks alpha already. Thank you much.
Thank you, Master. Yeah, that was good, man. Master, appreciate all that you do for this community. We'll keep it moving right along, and we'll pass the stage over to the infamous NFT verse. The stage is yours, brother.
GM, everybody. GM to the community. GM to the speakers. Here today, GM to the host, Kev, Ron, and Master. Master, always great information. Always great research that you share with the community. Especially, like I always say, especially with the new people, right, who tend to pop into these spaces every now and then during this morning. First of all, I'll start off by saying this. Don't play games in a system where transactions are final. Be careful. Be careful, man. You got to be careful out there. You can't play games in here. This is the blockchain. Don't play games. I don't care if you're playing around with names you own. I don't care if you're out there, trying to maybe low key FUD somebody, right? See, this is what happens when you play games in the blockchain. Things get finalized and you can't get it back. So I wanted to make sure that I said that, a little disclaimer out there for folks. Number two is tomorrow night at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my intellect shuts down. The happy hour begins. So I just want to throw that out there too, because at that point, it's time to relax. It's time to kick back. So I wish that everybody in here, new people, old people, in between people, are able to join and kick back with us tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ron, we're going to miss you, bro. Hopefully you're able to tap in for a little bit. Next thing was Ron touched on something that kind of just jump-started my brain a little bit, and that was the intranet. Man, that's powerful, Ron, that you brought that up. It's interesting for the people who actually had a chance to experience that, and some people who still experience today in a certain form, because I look at the intranet as like a low budget, low tech, internal decentralized platform for companies, right? For the employees, right? Anybody outside of their employees can't really tap into it, right? You can't see it. You can't access that particular network or that server, right? So in a way, it's like the first step or first, introduction to what decentralized can mean for a company, right? Where you can kind of contain all your information where nobody can get to it, right? But now that I think about it, maybe that was that first step, but Web3 and ENS is now we start to move towards the true decentralized ecosystem that they've always been looking for, that companies have always been looking for, where they can really build out a true internal decentralized ecosystem with their ENS domains and their ENS identities, whether it's emails, whether it's payroll, whether it's websites, everything can be built inside that ENS ecosystem that truly provides the real intranet that they had been looking for. I can't wait for the discussion today. Thank you again to the host, everybody in the community, and all the new people who joined today. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, NFTverse. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ENS Morning Show. We do the show every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Reporting live from Florida here. I want to say this. If you're enjoying the speakers so far, and these speakers have been absolutely phenomenal, go ahead and do us a favor. Let's retweet this room. Let's get the message out there. Let's get the word out there. And let's get more people to join the ENS family right now. And one thing before I pass to the next speaker is, the joking around. At the end of the day, this is the way I feel about it. I feel I have sympathy for Franklin, right? But two things: you try to make a joke of a troll, that fake bids are lame, and you end up being on the wrong side of that stick. One, and two, if you're running around joking with 100 ETH, he's perfectly fine. Yeah, he's probably a little embarrassed, but the reality of the situation is he'll be perfectly fine. Losing not 100 ETH. The guy owns 25 plus apes or whatever it is, to the point where
57, a lot of them gold.
Yeah, 57 apes. He's joking around with 100 ETH. He'll be fine. Yeah, let's not get it twisted. 100 ETH, nobody wants to just lose 100 ETH, right? But the truth is, it's not going to make or break his life at this stage. He sells one of his gold apes. He's back up. So I just want to put that out there. I know a lot of people were had different opinions and things of that nature, but it's probably a valuable lesson that he needed to learn at this stage. And we all learn lessons in different ways. My brother, you don't troll the ENS community, which he has been doing quite some time. But let's pass it right over to the 12 to 1289. The stage is yours, brother.
Hey guys, hope you can hear me. Talking about jokesters and Web 2, I found a quote from the Domain King. If you never visit his website, it's still stuck in the 90s, by the way. It's a great read. And I'm going to tell you a quote he has here. He says, in 1995, I compared and equated domain names to real estate and the direct navigation traffic they produce to oil wells. Sounds familiar? Well, it sounds familiar to me, to be honest. It's domain names, real estate. But instead of the traffic that Web 2 needs to bring to those websites, ENS is NFTs, is portable. You can put it whatever you want, plus everything else you can do with it. So, Web 2 is telling you what's the roadmap in front of us, plus more. It's just a silver lining that I wanted to put out there and see if we can bring this revolution forward. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really good. I need to take. What's his website?
DomainKing.com.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate that, brother. We'll go over to triple watergun.eth. The stage is yours.
What up, GM? Everyone knows what this song is dedicated to. I'm going to go ahead and get with it. Top categories last 24 hours is single emoji sitting at a volume of 75.88 ETH volume traded in the last 24 hours. Trying to get my horn. Let's go. I did not call single emojis, but I have been, really bullish on emojis that have not been getting the love that they deserve. No clue how long this will last, but I'm in this for the long term, 3 to 5 year outlook. But yeah, so that's what I want to start with. Single emojis sitting at number 1, 10K Club at number 2 with 43 ETH volume traded, 999 Club sitting at 22 ETH volume traded, and then triple emojis down at the number 4 spot, sitting at just about 22 ETH volume traded in the last 24 hours. That being said, the floor for the single emojis are sitting almost at half an ETH, very thin floor. Doesn't take much to get back to a 1 ETH floor there. The 999 Club is sitting at a 20 ETH floor, with the 10K Club sitting at a 1.2 ETH floor, and then the Arabic 999 Club is sitting at a 1.68 ETH floor. A little bit of a price check with ENS. We are up 15% of the day at 289 ETH volume, traded in the last 24 hours. ETH is kind of just going sideways at the moment. We're sitting at about 1,500 USD, down about 1% on the day. Dow, NASDAQ, well, NASDAQ's a little green at right now. The Dow is down about 200 points. S&P is down about not much. It's almost at even on the day. Some people did touch on some the Franklin news. That is honestly unfortunate, but this is one of these lessons I'm going to learn from someone else's mistakes. I'm going to learn. Don't play around. This is crypto. It's all fun and games until you lose out. But yeah, you can probably afford it, but it still stings. A couple other things I'm looking at that's heating up. Kev, your 999 Arabics are still catching bids. Last 24 hours comes some of the top sales besides that Franklin sell, 522 sold for 22 ETH. We've had the smiley emoji sell for 5 ETH. We had 1115.eth sell for 3.5 ETH. Full Moon sold for 3 ETH. And then some of the hearts, triple hearts, sold for 3 ETH emojis. And then another emoji, I don't know what this is. I think it's one of the women emojis sold for 3 ETH as well. Couple of news stats I've seen come across the wire here in the last few minutes. According to Unusual Wells, 3 have been charged in the first ever cryptocurrency insider trading ring. You can go to that page and see more on that. And then also, blockchain.com is cutting 25% of its workforce. So a lot of pain we're still seeing in the markets. We're not going to get out of this overnight, but this is a long-term game. Just have a plan, have a thesis, know your levels, and then just strike when you get the opportunities. Ron, I hate to hear you're going to miss the happy hour. I'll make sure to have a non-alcoholic drink for you tomorrow.
Okay, well, hopefully I think I'm going to be 2 hours over the Atlantic, so hopefully they'll have internet, and I'll at least be able to listen in and sling out a couple of peace signs for you guys.
Hey, and also since you're feeding rhinos, I mean, heck, I didn't know you were that adventurous. How about we link up sometime when we go hog hunting, or I shouldn't say hog hunting. Let's just go feed the hog.
Oh yeah, no, I've actually got a friend that they have a game capture company, so. They'll fly over the helicopters with the veterinarians and shoot them with sleeping darts, and then we kind of go like tip them upside down, and they'll give them test their blood, give them vaccines and stuff. And what's crazy is the second you hit that rhino with the antidote, they jump up and they're pissed. So it's a lot of fun. So the white rhino's not so bad. The black rhinos, it's kind of taking your life in your hands, but it's a little bit of adventure and doing a little bit of good for an animal that's really been devastated because poachers like to kill them and cut off their horns. So yeah, looking forward to having a little fun.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the lookout for some pictures or videos if you're able to take them. That's something I haven't been able to do, and I would love to see what you get to see and the adventures you're about to witness. That's amazing.
Awesome. Guys, I will say this as well. Thank you, Triple Water Gun, Squirt.Triple Water Gun.
Hey, not financial advice. Give me that disclosure. Save my ass, please. I do see my lawyers up here present.
I was just about to say that, not financial advice, but man, NFTverse, Triple Water Gun, I would say these guys have been preaching. These guys have been preaching from day one. Emojis, 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 emojis. And I kind of faded them. I faded them. Me personally, I faded them. I never got one. And the past 2 days, the emoji sales bot and sales have been going, and registrations have been going absolutely berserk, man. So congratulations to everybody who kind of got on that train, got on that wave. It shows that there's huge potential in the emojis, and I am now a believer. Go ahead, Triple Water Gun.
I was also just to say, it's still not too late to mint a couple of the OX2 digits. I think there's around 25 left before they're minted out, and then also the 4-digit keycaps. There's obviously a good amount left, but those are actually some OG emojis. If you go back and look in 1999 release of emojis, the keycaps were part of that OG list. So, not financial advice, but I just want to throw that out there, man. I'd love to see you part of the family.
Wait, so for the guys on stage, how do you feel about OX? I'm not a big personally. This is personal. It's not financial advice. I'm not a big OX fan personally. How do you feel about them? How do you guys feel about them?
I'm the same. I'm not on the OX bandwagon. I think though, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's another, and if you're into Ethereum, and we've now got 8-10 years of history with it. But yeah, me personally, I'd rather go with like the clean emojis or something else. I don't own 10x personally, but I think there's something there.
I think there's a historical context that's going to come in play. That's going to come in play with the OXs. Maybe even the normal OXs. Let me say 0x's, guys, just so we keep it clear for folks out there, right? The 0x's. So I think there's a historical and there's a native, relevancy that's going to come along with OXs. The further we get down this Web3 journey. Like anything that's historic, right? So those OXs are historic to the Ethereum blockchain. So when you think about just the normal OXs and how those are being minted, maybe you got so many variations of the 0xs that are being minted out there from the normal side of things. But when you factor in the historical context of emojis, keycaps, and the 0x's all together, to me, it brings about more of a value to it and a rarity to it. So that's kind of the things that you have to look at, and that's why I'm kind of strategic about the 0x's, keycaps, emojis, because there's going to come a time where that rarity is going to kick in for a lot of folks. The cleanness, the rarity, the affordability. You can do a 0 keycap, the green X, and another digit keycap. And guys, that's only $5 renewal. It's 3 characters, but it's only a $5 renewal. It's super clean. So all of those are minted out, though. By the way, the 0x0 through 0x9 keycap emojis are already minted out. But again, those are the super clean ones, and I believe the relevancy of that will start to come to life as more and more derivatives of the normal OXs kind of gain traction and kind of get out of control. There's a certain containment that lies in the keycap 0x digits. So I'll just say that, Kev.
Hey, I'm trying to be like Flossin today, so I have my double diamond, double fists up .eth today for the rest of the show, and Flossin's convinced me. Oh, sorry, triple water gun emoji.eth's convinced me.
Awesome, y'all. And by the way, for everyone listening, I am not fudding the 0x. This is not FUD to the 0x. I am sharing my own personal opinion. If you have conviction in something, have your conviction in it. I am a human. I have my own personal opinions. This is my thoughts and my thoughts only. Prime Roots, the stage is yours. Prime Roots, you there? You Prime. All right. We'll go
Hi, can you
right
hear me
over
okay?
to. Oh, yep. You're there now.
Yeah, so I wanted to add about the 0x. Like, mostly I see it as kind of a bit second best. Like, there's the 999, then there's the 0x 999. So obviously it's kind of second best. But the one area where I think it really thrives is with single letters, because there's no other kind of obvious way to show a single letter with a 3-character minimum. Like, you could have www, but then it kind of suggests World Wide Web, or you could have ZZZ, but it kind of suggests zzz, like the sound of sleeping. So the only way to sort of show a clean single letter is 0x and the letter. And obviously there's only 26 of them, so they're very scarce in that sense. And yeah, that's one of my like niche plays is collecting the 0x single letters, because I'm super bullish on those for sure. But yeah, that was it really. That was my perspective.
Appreciate you sharing that Prime Roots. It's crazy. Are you the one who just registered Digital Roots? Digital Roots literally just got registered. Um, Digital Root just got registered 2 minutes
No,
ago.
no, that's not me. No, I'm actually like 010, like number 10. That's my normal account. I just happen to be on this account. um, but yeah, no. Prime Roots is
Oh,
going to be hopefully a category on ENS Vision for word endings. Like, the idea is if you've got a good word ending like ing, you could offer a ton of subdomains to people that would want something ending ing, like shopping, running, etc. But yeah, that's it.
gotcha. Yeah, great idea. We'll pass the stage right over to Crypto Reporter, formerly known as Crypto Intern.
Hey everybody, GM. Yes, it's Crypto Reporter here, formerly known as Web3 Intern. Like Kev said, I had to change the name because we go in higher places. Let me just say that. Also, real quick, everybody, you got to retweet this space out because this space is honestly the space of all spaces. Like we know that ENS is the NFT of NFTs. This is like the space of all spaces. So let's go ahead and retweet that space out for Kev. Good morning to everybody on here. I wanted to say real quickly, pointing back to what Magnum said, because it was honestly looking back and when I was trying to figure out what this thing really was, that I started looking back at history. I like figuring out, okay, why things happen and things of that nature. And the only thing that we could really relate this to is the domain industry, at least for right now. Um, and I actually, crazily enough, I screenshotted that back on May 13th of this year, that exact line that Magnum said. I had to go back and find it. And it was in 1995, I compared and equated domain names to real estate and the direct navigation traffic they produce to oil wells. Still do. Oil wells fuel cars and trucks and traffic, and it's the fuel of the internet and websites. I started with a simple premise and a very strong belief. Domains would go up in value faster than any other commodity ever known to man. So that right there, that was the line that I had to repeat because I feel like it's so important to what we are doing now because we see what this is. We know and understand this is the future. And I think it was really that conviction of what domains were doing just back then. It opened up a new paradigm. We're seeing the same similarities of just innovation, just growth. We're seeing the same things really happen now. And so I think that line is really, really important. So thank you, Magnum, for that. I had to repeat it out because we are doing the same thing here, guys. And I cannot wait for the day that we are all on Ron's Island. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be one hell of a party. Let me just say that. But thank you, Kev, for letting me speak, and I look forward to the discussion.
So, Crypto Reporter, yeah, I actually just went on Domain King's website, and I'm looking at that particular line, and what I find interesting with that line compared to .eth, .com and .eth is, he's saying here that, oil fuels cars and trucks, and traffic is the fuel of the internet and websites, right? That relates back to .com, but with .eth, man, there's just so much more potential. These are identities, online digital identities that are your bank account, your email address, everything. So when you really sit and think about it, if these things, these .eths have potential to be a lot more than what .coms are, as far as every single human being, I feel like, who's going to be using the internet, going to be not, let me not say the internet, who's going to be using the blockchain, right? The blockchain is a little bit different. Every single human being who's going to be interacting with the blockchain, I feel like, is going to need a .eth, or going to use a .eth in one way or another. And that is huge. We can't fully, this thing is going to play out differently than the .com. A lot of us are saying .eth is a new .com. I don't think so. I don't think .eth is a new .com. I think .eth is its own new, completely different entity. It's the new way that we will identify ourselves online and on the blockchain, so forth and so on. But ENSpunks, feel free to add on to that, bro. The stage is yours.
Yeah, GM Kev, Ron, Master, speakers, community. So it's an awesome transition, because that's exactly the sort of stuff I want to talk about, and it builds off of like what happened with the Microsoft and Minecraft. Before I do that, though, I want to give a shout out to our guy. He was in the audience earlier. Yeah, he's still there. So 888.meta8.eth. He hit me up in the DMs recently and said, hey, there's this NFT project, and their name is available. So I guess that's what happens. People let me know when names are available now. So I registered it, put the tweet out, let this project know, hey, I got your name. And the funny thing was, this just happened kind of real late last night. And the first person to like that tweet was the former governor of Hawaii. And so I thought, well, that's weird, but funny. And so, of course, I was like, let me see if her name is available. Sure enough, it was. So I registered the governor's name. And so now I'm on a mission to get the governor her name. So I'm just going to pin that. If I could get a little action, a little love on that. Let's see if we can onboard as a community a little fun project, get the former governor of Hawaii her ENS name. And it's just something fun, be good, on board a governor. But yeah, more important, man. Oh, I'm gonna get on the soapbox. It's a little bit of law, and I get fired up about sort of this idea. So you're talking about identity, how important it is, and yeah. So unlike Web 2, where the only people who got these domain names were people who were gonna build websites, everybody who has a wallet is going to need to get an ENS name, right? If we're out on the streets, and this is how it's going to be, right? And somebody wants to transfer me some funds, I want to transfer somebody some funds. The question is going to be, where do I send it? And if you don't have an ENS name, it's not going to be possible. It's that simple. So it is identity. It's also a website. It's also a business. So let's talk about that and what happened with Microsoft and Minecraft. Of course they were going to shut it down. These Web 2 companies are not going to let people build on top of their IP. They're not going to let people monetize their stuff. That's what they're in business to do, to take your identity, give it to you, to take your data, feed you ads from that, take your privacy and monetize it, take the content you create and make money from that. They're not out there to let you monetize off of their platforms. It's the same idea. Like, well, what if we started, minting Twitter handles on the blockchain and selling those? They don't allow that. You sell your Twitter name, they're gonna rug it. They're gonna take it back. It's as simple as that. It's the same thing I keep talking about with Facebook, right? That is one of the most valuable brands and some of the most valuable IP in the world. And when we talk about IP, it is the most valuable intangible asset owned by any business. When we talk about the top 10 brands and their IP, it's worth between $80 billion at the number one spot to $30 billion at the number 10 spot. And it is these, it's the tech companies, it's a couple banks in there, it's IBM, it's exactly who you think it would be. Facebook gave up one of the most valuable brands in the world where everybody from individuals to businesses build on Facebook. They got Facebook stickers in their business windows. Hey, visit our Facebook fan page, visit our Instagram fan page. And they just gave up this, IP worth tens of billions of dollars to rebrand as Meta. Why? Because the metaverse is an idea. It is not a cartoon world. That's what they did it for. They want to change the narrative, the conversation. They want people to think, oh, the metaverse is just a little cartoon 3D world, just like Minecraft is, but now Mark Zuckerberg's building one. No, the metaverse is an idea, and there's no better example of it than ENS. Why? Because the idea of the metaverse is ownership and control. We own our identity. We can take it from platform to platform. They cannot rug us. That is ownership. That is control. We can sell it. Good luck selling your Facebook handle. Good luck selling your, whatever you try to build on Minecraft, whatever you do, you can't. They've got these contracts, these terms and conditions. Like Master says, there's Web 2, then there's Web 3. ICANN, UDRP does not apply here. But this is sort of the kind of transition is not only does it change the game entirely, it changes the power imbalance. And it's what I did, and it's the most fired up I've ever seen Master, right? What I did was, it's the very first example of it in big tech. GeoCities was bought out in 1999 by Yahoo. That was the big tech back in the day. And they bought them out for $3-point-something billion. And in just 10 years, they shut it down against the wishes of their community. It was the first time it's ever happened. But big tech has done that ever since. They acquire startups. There'd be passionate communities of users. There'd be a product, a beloved product, and big tech would buy it out because that's the competition, and they would shut it down on those users over the objections of the users. It happened to me, right? They just wiped away tens of millions of websites from the early internet, gone right off the servers of Yahoo. But I waited, ENSpunks waited, he patiently waited 10 years until GeoCities trademark was canceled. He took geocities.eth, he built on it. He built a search engine that served up ads, and then he filed his own trademark for GeoCities and got it. And that's the power shift. We don't need to deal with all that ICANN and UDRP. That's true, but we also have the ability to build on it. We're the captains now. We can own the IP. We can do things that tech usually does to us, the ownership, the control. So that's sort of what I want to emphasize a lot. And again, it's like on my soapbox, all fired up about it. But, we saw with, unstoppable domains, right? They say, oh, we are protecting these domains for the trademark owners and the brands. I went to them and I said, hey, here's my trademark for GeoCities. They confirmed, yeah, you are the owner. But then they try to tax my ass. They've got fees just like ENS has fees, but they charge me like quadruple. They just charge me a random $102,000 to get these domains for GeoCities, the very trademark I own. They squatted on it, and then they charge me more than their normal fees. Why? Well, because they're centralized, one, and two, because they made me dox myself, give them my ID, give them all that information, address, phone number, all that shit, just same as Web 2, just same as ICANN, a registrar. And then what they decided was, yeah, well, we asked for the website, and you built your website on ENS. And that's a little speculation, but how else could they justify charging me more than their own fee schedule? So they are just the same as Web 2, these centralized services, the Microsoft Minecraft, Meta. Do not let them take control of the narrative and the conversation. That's like the most important thing we could do, is explain to people ENS is about ownership and control. It's as basic, yes, as saying, look, how do I send you some ether? How do I send you some coin? If you don't have an ENS name, I can't send it to you. But then there's one follow-up, and that is, you also own it. You can take this identity from platform to platform. You don't do that with your Twitter handle. You don't do that with your Instagram handle. And you can sell them. You can monetize them. So, it's like I just got fired up about this idea of identity, this idea of Web 2 shutting us down, shutting down what we're trying to build. But we should not be surprised. We should not be investing in, projects that continue to build on Web 2 platforms. It's from GeoCities to Minecraft today to Facebook changing to Meta. They're all going to rug us. It's just a matter of time. And so, there's no greater example of why we're here and why ENS is so valuable. So I'll get off my soapbox. Thank you, as always, for the time. And that's it.
Yeah. One thing, you will always have my back, ENSpunks, my friend. UD, they never gonna make it. Okay, so at the beginning, I think they have no value. They created it themselves. Nobody supports them. They use the commercial way to get them part of the community, but the community never acknowledges them. But they more or less reserve those names for the brand, which seems to be something makes sense. It's just like a very, ugly old fat lady. It's not sexy. You don't like her at all, but at least she is loyal to her husband until someday your story that she is cheating on her husband. And I mean, there's nothing good on this lady, right? That's why, that's all I'm going to share. That make me so pissed by the day I saw you. You tweeted that they charge you as brand owner to pay 100K for those suffixes. That is bullshit. That doesn't make sense. There is nothing good on this old lady, so stay away from her. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Master. I love that.
Awesome, y'all. Thank you, ENSpunks. That was real. And just to add one more statement to that before we pass it on to the next speaker is we have to start looking at this a little bit differently, right? I don't want us to continue to look at it like this is the new .com. What we need to realize here, in my opinion, is there's a time where we're going to be interacting with the blockchain on every major website, every major social media platform that we're using. Meta's incorporating it, YouTube's incorporating NFTs, Snapchat is incorporating NFTs, Instagram, they're all incorporating NFTs on a day-to-day basis. Soon your job is going to incorporate it. Everybody's going to incorporate the blockchain because it's just superior technology, right? It's better technology. Like I said earlier, tech doesn't wait on nobody. So in that world where all these major corporations, Fortune 500 companies, websites have incorporated the blockchain, right? That's when .eth becomes more important than ever. So think about it a little bit different. Think about how it's going to evolve. It's not going to necessarily replace the .com, but it's going to be an asset to the .com. They're going to work hand in hand, in my opinion. But let's keep it moving. I think Batshit Ape was next. The stage is yours, bro.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? So I think, ENS has become so prevalent that the compatibility around Web3 is there's more and more kind of support for it. And it's gotten to a point where it's just kind of almost commonplace. But one thing that I have just a question about in terms of, owning an asset and moving it around different ecosystems within Web3, I was just thinking about this, hypothetical scenario where you're playing a game and that game you earn or win some asset. Let's say it's a magic potion that makes sense in this particular game. And now you want to be able to take that asset and move it around to another ecosystem and potentially use it. Well, it made sense in that game. It was designed and intentionally built for that game. But another game that maybe has like no concept of magic potions or anything, suddenly that potion doesn't, you can't use it at all, in different ecosystems. So I'm wondering how these assets will be moved around and used in different ecosystems in terms of, different compatibility. Where will there have to be different Web3 standards built that allows certain kind of generic items to be used across different games or different ecosystems, and then kind of who might be involved in building out those standards in terms of like the generic way to use items across different ecosystems. And also, obviously this is kind of speculation, but what kind of timeline do we see around some of those standards being built?
I'll see if I can take this one. I think what you kind of have to keep in mind is that when more and more of these kind of what you refer to as almost like gaming platforms start to evolve into this space, they're still building, right? So they're still trying to understand the functionality and how these things work cross chain and things like that. But I think what you got to keep in mind is that if you have a potion from one particular platform or gaming platform, and you want to possibly use that potion in another gaming platform, I think that those two platforms have to come to an agreement, some type of integration between the two. So, will there be partnerships? Yeah, I think there'll be cross partnerships in the Web3 gaming world. I think it makes sense, right? It makes sense to have partnerships because you're building worlds. If you want to cross over to another world or another gaming platform, I think it's best for the whole entire ecosystem. So I think that from a timeline perspective, like you asked, I think it's hard to kind of put a set timeline on that. But I think as the technology continues to evolve, you'll see partnerships like that happen in Web3. So I think it's just something to look forward to, as we continue to go down this road and this journey. Man, you talk about having something that you can utilize where there's a partnership built between, let's just say, a particular one game versus another game, where you can still keep your identity in one game and take that potion over to that next game, be that same person, but maybe gather some material from that game and then go back to the other one. I mean, it's so many things that can evolve from that. So I hope that kind of answers your question. The timeline, I don't think that we can put a timeline on it, but I can tell you that I got a good feeling that it's on its way.
I
So it'd be
think
like
too.
mutual benefit for both communities and both ecosystems to kind of share kind of user bases.
Well, yeah, and I think if we look at to batshit apes question, no, I don't know squat about gaming. I haven't played games since like Miss Batman, so I can't really speak to that. But when we look at the broader blockchain question of interoperability, right? We see wrapped ETH everywhere, right? On all the ecosystems, we see the EVM or Ethereum Virtual Machine. Most platforms are EVM compatible. There's the outliers. There's the Solanas. There's the some of them that want to be completely outside of it. But most of them, even like we haven't heard much of it yet. But I think in the next bull run, I think maybe Polkadot will be a huge player in this because it basically is a layer zero that is, Gavin Woods invented Polkadot. He is the one that wrote Solidity, and he, wrote most of the code for Ethereum. But it just goes back to our play as Ethereum being the most broad. Almost every, why wouldn't you at least make it EVM compatible or make it compatible with Ethereum, because it's bar none the biggest exposure, right? So I imagine that most stuff will be Ethereum compatible, and maybe it's wrapped, maybe it's bridged. Same thing we see in all the different tokens and things now. But I just think that gives more credence to our play with ENS and Ethereum being that standard, or at least the majority standard. So that's kind of how I see it playing out, and how it's already kind of developing right now within the the economics of the blockchain and interoperability in general.
Cool. 9396, the stage is yours, brother.
Hello, everyone. Hello, speakers, and big respect to the panel and to everyone on the spaces. I think regarding this question, because I wanted to touch a different topic, but regarding this question of transferring assets between different games, I think you might have a look at Binary X. They're doing something like that. They're just like an ecosystem for game builders, and there's like different games, and I think they're heading towards something like you've been saying, so you can transfer your coins or your assets between different games. Just change the ecosystems. They're all about like building bigger ecosystems around games. So that's something pretty interesting. But I wanted to ask you guys about one thing, because I'm all about this technology, and I'm pretty sure that this is the next revolution we're talking about. And I'm a truly believer in blockchain being for sure the future of interacting between humans, between us, and financial systems and all that. And it's great. And but when there is a word revolution being mentioned, so the revolution happens, and there is always like two sides. So the other side I see here is the centralized world, the centralized banking, and the central governments. And I'm really brainstorming a lot around this topic, like how are they gonna allow this ecosystem built around decentralized monetary networks, decentralized ENS system? How would they allow this to happen? Because I cannot imagine a merge, like merging these two worlds, like central banks, central governments, with what is happening here, the decentralized world, decentralized economics. We see problems like people not being able to buy crypto, transfer from their banks to exchanges. It's happening in some part of Europe for sure. There is the European anti-money laundering law that's been passed like weeks ago. I don't know. It's like they've did it like in an hour or something. And there's this horrible story of an artist from Latvia. He's been the most successful generative artist in 2021. He made 8.5 million euros profit. He paid his taxes and all that. And under this anti-money laundering law, he's under investigation. His assets are frozen. Like they've took all of his assets, and it's so it's happening, and it doesn't look like the other side is gonna just allow this thing to go on and on without really wanting to control. Because I don't see like they will allow people just to leave banks and move to decentralized monetary networks. So maybe Ron, who's really experienced, and you've seen the Web 2 and the internet and all that, and you've been aware of the changes. What's your opinion on this? Is it going to be a merge, or is it going to be a clash and a conflict of those two worlds?
We have to bridge over. I mean, it's going to be both. I mean, that's kind of how it was with even the Web 2. Everyone kind of fought it. It's kind of the Gandhi saying, right? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. So it's all of it, all of what you said, and it's all happening. But we have to. There has to be a bridge, right? You don't just jump off the corner of the Grand Canyon, you'll die. You just kind of jump down 10 feet at a time. And and that's what it'll happen. We'll just kind of be little battles, little things, little, different governments fighting different ways, different banks. Nobody's going to want to let go of the power, right? That's the problem with the world right now. It's all about corruption and power. There's the old saying, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Look, every government, better or worse, they all suck. There's really not a good government. They're all out for themselves. And even if the people, go in the government with good intentions, they eventually get just sucked in by the system and the corruption and the deals and the favors and whatever. So that's what this gives us a chance. Blockchain gives us a chance to reset the world, but yeah, it's not gonna happen easily, and it's gonna be a constant battle. And I mean, we're seeing it. I mean, we're seeing it even now with the regulation. I mean, it'll just be a constant battle until eventually the cream rises to the top. But it's also a grassroots revolution here, to where they've ignored it too long already. They should have squashed it earlier, and so I don't think they're going to be able to stop it. But it's not going to necessarily just be a walk in the park for us either.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm really on your side when it comes, like, they ignored it for a long time. It's the ignorance of this old system that was feeling so secure in its position that they've probably ignored this, and this grew up to be a challenger. And the way I see it happen, like, be in the future, probably, like you said, different governments and different entities and different parts of the world are gonna absorb this and react with this blockchain revolution in a different way, and this is going to decentralize the whole centralized world, and there's going to be hubs. There's going to be different parts of the world where probably we will travel to have some sort of good life. Maybe it's going to be Dubai, maybe it's going to be some other offshore entities, and maybe there's going to be different countries being formed around that. My dream is ENS Republic. I think I'm going to grab this name. So I see that happening more like EU, like allowing this thing to grow bigger and bigger. It's going to just get crazy, and the whole world is going to become like divided into smaller parts. That's my opinion.
Well, look, when your job, if all of us, if this thesis plays out like we think it will, okay, we're all worth, tens of millions of dollars. And guess what? We can take that money we can take our presence, we can take our Ledger Nano X's or whatever. We can take that spending power, earning power, wherever we're treated best, right? If you're locked down, if you're controlled by, you have to be in this certain jurisdiction to earn money. See, that's changing now. That's like, I honestly earn zero US dollars right now. So to me, it doesn't matter. I will earn no less money being on vacation, quote unquote vacation, for 3 weeks than I would be if I stayed here. So I mean, eventually, and it doesn't really matter. I may stay there for 6 months if I like it. I mean, it doesn't matter. And we're all going to be in that same position. We're all in varying degrees of that now. We're all way less chained down than our grandma and grandpa were, working at the factory or working at the hospital or whatever it was, right? We are truly have an opportunity to, we can all go to Dubai and just hang out for a year if we want. Especially if everyone on this call today, those of us that own dozens or hundreds of ENS domains, if this plays out, that's going to turn into millions, tens of millions of dollars. If Master doesn't want to stay in Shanghai all the time, he won't have to, right? If anyone on this call wants to go wherever they want and do whatever they want, they can. And so that there will be a shifting, then people will realize it, and they'll want to attract those of us. They'll want to attract the ENS billionaires, right, to their shores, to spend money at their restaurants and park their yachts at their harbors, buy gas there.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, man. Thanks.
Awesome. We'll keep it moving right along. stage. I want to say what's up to 3402. How you doing today?
GM, great space as always. Thank you, Kev, Ron, Master, the community. We will definitely be missing you, Ron. You are a staple to the show, but enjoy yourself. It sounds like a blast. Um, it's exciting to finally see the emojis taking off. But just to let you guys know, there are still so many, phrases, idioms using emojis only available. The registration fees can be high, depending on the length, of course. But I see those being the next wave of emoji sales. You can also mix in some words, which will lower those fees as well. And also, the ENS Queens are having a space tonight. I just want to let you all know. Hopefully, you can make it. It's at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 5459 will be hosting. So we'd love to see y'all there. And as always, looking forward to our Friday night's happy hour. But thanks for having me on.
Thank you. I just added, and I will be there for sure, listening in. So shout out to the queens, everybody. Let's support them for sure. We definitely need more women in this space, right? The space. A lot of times it's a sausage fest, which nothing. What I mean by that is men tend to trend towards tech, crypto things a lot more. I would love to see more women faces. So when I do see women supporting ENS and crypto and NFTs, I'm always a big fan and big supporter. So shout out to you guys. I'll pass it right over to Tommy Gun. Tommy Gun, I think this is your first time on this show. How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you for having me up. So I heard you say something about like trying to get more women in the space and stuff like that. I think that's like, one of our top priorities for making like ENS truly global. How could ENS be truly global if we don't have an accurate representation of global demographics? So what I've been doing is I have a lot of women in my life, my sisters, my aunts, my mom, my cousins. So what I do is anytime I'm with them, I set them up a crypto wallet, like a MetaMask wallet or something like that. And then the very, very, very first NFT project I tell them about is ENS. And then I kind of like, obviously, like, let's say someone's name is Julia. You're not going to get Julia.eth, but you could get like Julia like Y.eth. You know what I mean? Or you could get like a name for them. And I think that's like one of the best ways to onboard anyone in crypto, regardless of where they're from, is just saying, yo, download this MetaMask wallet, and just send them a little bit of ETH for gas fees and for registration fees and whatnot. And then basically just have them go on ENS. And it's even funner than going on GoDaddy or Namecheap or wherever you go and get your domains. It's even when I was a little kid, I used to be obsessed with domains. But then when I found ENS, in my opinion, this is way better because it has like more of a social element to it. The only thing is, I would warn them because be careful, it could be addicting. So that's it.
Thank you, Tommy. Yeah, I think we all need to play our part, play our role in helping onboard the next wave of users. And let's not get it twisted. This is the largest community of all of Web3, right? Over 450,000 unique owners within ENS. But it's Metcalfe's law. It's momentum. As we continue to go and onboard more and more and more and more, before you know it, we'll be at 2 million, 3 million, so forth and so on. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the ENS Morning Show. We do the show every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to about 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to all the speakers on stage today. This was a really good one. Let's follow each other. Let's grow this community. Let's keep it going. This is what it's all about. If you have any questions, comments, anxieties, frustrations, this is the stage to let it out on. This is the stage to let it out. So with that being said, 5159 is out. I'm wishing everybody a phenomenal day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.